guys. Alright, guys, we're in the compound. Let's see what we got here. Open the door. Whoa, security camera. Oh, there's a bunch of footlockers in here. What's this? Oh, locker number 1. Guess what? I'm reading a guide, so I know all the codes. I'm just gonna use them here because I don't want to hack the computer. It says my character this time is not a hacker. Don't want to. Let's click 2 1409. Alexander, you have seemed less than enthusiastic in our education sessions. Please understand that we are not a shelter. We are a factory that refines the dross of society. People like you, into strong, pure warriors for humanity. Well, that's freaking creepy. In the future, see to it you are on time and well rested. If you drop the ball again, we're going to have a little talk about your future in this organization. Dietrich snatches the note out of your hands. I knew it. I knew that Alex wouldn't buy into their bullshit. He reads the note over again, his lips moving with syllables. Come on, boss. He's still here somewhere. There's still time. Two, 619. There's a note inside. Recruit Capo. Your enthusiasm at the rally was more than commendable. Those Trog bastards really got what was coming to them. Volker wants to see you right away. His personal code is pride. Share this with no one. That's super out. Well, how cliche. What's this one? 4176. Oh, just get a cred stick. Alright. Money never hurt anybody. Well, money's hurt a lot of people. 1106. Friedrich, I am pleased with how well you are doing. To show my growing trust in you, I am giving you a new assignment in addition to your trainee duties. Beginning tomorrow, I would like you to tidy the armory. The access code is purity. See that you don't forget it. Tomorrow evening, I will expect to see a full inventory of the weapons in our arsenal by nightfall. With it, you will deliver me a requisition order for the weapon of your choosing. Your pick, my boy. I will leave it up to you. Congratulations, Friedrich. This honor is well deserved. Wow. You just break into their army and just take all their stuff. 2, 4. It's empty. Oh, how sad. Is there someone to shut down the security camera? Wow. Armory. What was it? It was purity, right? Yep. Is the turret on? I don't know. Oh, probably not since I had the password. So take some medical supplies. Ooh, what is this? I don't know what this is. Whoa, that's really strong. Damn it. I don't have that drone. Phosphorus grenade. It's probably a better grenade than this thing. Problem. I can't use any of this stuff. It's a real problem. Well, thankfully I brought Blitz with me. highly recommended. Anyone who did what you did to those elves will go far around here. You can hit the kitchen anytime, but otherwise stay close unless otherwise told. Your locker code is tuned. That's how you're supposed to find out. There's a window here. Oh, there's a turret over there. Damn it. Well, time for decking, probably. Yeah. Do I save? Nope. Do I have a login password? Forever? No? Oh no, it's just Humanist forever. Okay. Let's make this really easy. There we go. Getting access to the safe houses. The same password for all of them? Oh hell yeah. Recruits, Klein, Alexander, there it is. Okay, well this is another way to find out the code word into. Lesson learned, guys. Don't use the same password for everything. Download the list. There are quite a few well-known names here, including a billionaire philanthropist and a children's Tradio show host. What's in this file kit? Alright, it's full of humanist propaganda. Human, you work hard, you play fair, and still you can't get ahead. Have you ever wondered why? The answer is simple. The elf is using the orc and the troll as muscle against you. What? Think about it. When you turn on your Tradio after a hard day's work, what do you see? The pampered elf, basking in the lap of luxury, squandering the money that you could be using to feed your children. You walk through a dark alley on your way home from the market, what do you fear? The mongrel orc and the savage troll, lying in wait to rob you of your hard-earned gains. The elf, the orc, the troll, all are parasites, leeching away your prosperity and happiness. It's time to wake up and do something about it. So what are you going to do, human? It's human for the human collar club. Yeah, this is all a parody and commentary on white supremacy and stuff like that, right? With substitute the elf, the orc, and the troll for other races. Which, strangely enough, is how that metaphor began with J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. They're clearly, yeah, that guy was a bit of a racist too, but he even admitted it, that the orcs were basically metaphors for Arabs. The elf with pretty boy looks takes the high-paid corporate desk job, rises to the top, blocks the top positions forever, never aging, never retiring. The orc is willing to work for table scraps, driving the cost of labor down, depriving you of a decent wage. The troll takes all the manual labor jobs, that's right. Not even by the sweat of your own brow can earn you a living these days. What? Dwarf shops are all family run, free labor. Whose business suffers. What? That kind of doesn't make any sense. I mean, humans can have family-run stores too. It's not mutually exclusive. Okay. Oh, red old rainbow. Oh, I can't. Open turret. It's pride, right? Yeah. So important we got told twice. Is there a way to save? Yes, game saved. Alright, so there is autosave. Anything else in here? Oh, here they come. A stocky man in a military surplus jacket enters the room. He's flanked on either side by a pair of young women. Their faces are masked by white kerchiefs, and each of them carry an holstered pistol. This is... I don't know if that's an intentional callback to the KKK. Or weapon girls, we have a guess. Soldiers exchange glances, then lower their sidearms. They look at you, their stares full of hatred and bile. There, that's better. His lips curl into a mirthless smile. I've shown you hospitality, Elf. Now it's time for you to return the favor. So tell me, why are you here? Let's see. What can I do? Well, I'm pretty sure he's not gonna... Well, let's just do it with the smuggler first so we don't immediately go to guns blazing. I'm here with the smugglers. We brought your shipment and we're waiting to be paid. Oh, don't you worry. Your friends are already being taken care of. Smile widens. Trust me, they'll get everything that was coming to them. Is that supposed to be scary? Because I'm not impressed. Patience, dandelion eater. By this time tomorrow, you'll be plenty impressed. I guarantee it. There's been a lot of cargo moving through here. Planning something big, Volker? He offers you a broad smile. It's going to be glorious, Elf. That gas you hauled in for us, it's going to prove every word that we've been saying. The trogs, the halfers, the goddamn dandelion eaters. One whiff of this stuff and they're going to tear each other apart. And then they'll spill into the good human neighborhoods, where we'll be waiting to stop them. For you just watch and wait, Mongrel. It'll be a bloodbath. Yeah, that's pretty nuts, man. You're gonna drive a classic villain. You're gonna drive a bunch of metahumans crazy in order to prove that metahumans are crazy? You're pathetic stuff. Smile fades from his face. I've heard just enough insults from you. I just have my men teach you some manners. The sound of hurried footsteps echo down the hallway behind you. The humanist leader smiles. As luck would have it, here they come now. They come from behind you without saying anything. His eyes go wide. He then takes a step towards the nearest humanist gunman, Alexander. The youth blinks in surprise. He half lowers his weapon. Uncle Dietrich? Shield him, Alexander. This man's an intruder and a traitor. Come here to do us harm. Oh, it's time to convince Alexander to help us out. If you're gonna put a shell on someone, put it in stall. He's a monster, Alex. I know that you can see that. The humanist gunmen flanking stall exchange uncertain glances. One begins to raise her pistol, but hurriedly lowers it when the humanist leader steps forward. Well, it's time for it to turn on the charisma, I guess. Listen to Dietrich. He's a good man. Oh, where the hell was he when my dad used to beat the shit out of me? Where was he when I got tossed out on the street? I didn't know, Alex. By the time I found out, damage had already been done. Well, Volker just... I don't know, man. How did you get to your position with this? It's up to you, Alex, but you have to make a choice. Oh yeah, that's the way to get people on your side. Well, that's how they do it, right? Fear and censor. Come on, go. Wait for them to react. Dietrich locks eyes with his nephew. His voice is also. Do what you have to, Alex. It's your choice. Oh. Without a word, Alexander wheels around and points his rifle at Stahl. The humanist leader recoils in alarm. Alexander levels the weapon and all hell breaks loose. Well, here comes the fight. This is a good time for... And, of course, this is when my computer stalls. Supposedly, if you do this quest later, there's actually a somebody will pay you to let a stall go. But you only have two. Probably gonna have to fight our way out, Alright. Dismember, is there a way out over here? Or do we have to go back the way we came? Well, they're still in cover? Interesting. Oh, I get to control him too. Nice. Alright, well. Could. It's a bit too close to my guy, but. Oh, Dietrich was wounded? Oh yeah, from the last battle, probably. Wow, I can't believe I missed that. He's out in the open. Done. Oh, whoa. Am I supposed to not kill him? Hold up. Let me take a look. I think I'll let Stahl leave. Okay, well, in that case, I'm just gonna. Alright, let's go. Sorry about that, but I thought that killing him in the battle would just subdue him, not actually make him explode, which it did. Alright. Well, we can just skip this part now. Alright, let's go. Oh. Alright. Alright, well, it might make things easier if we don't have to... That's all we need. Everyone gets accuracy. One of them down. Go, unbalanced. Damn it. Oh. No, 90% and it whiffed. Makes me sad. He's running. Let me heal myself. 100%, right? Come on. Let me see, is that still... No, you can check in. It's fine. Go over here now. Reload. There's gotta be more people coming in, right? Is there a reason that... Let me see if there's a reason to check in. I guess. Check in. Here we go. Please don't suck. I don't really like. I don't really like. Damn it. There's a turret where the turret. Here we go. Wait, what? Oh, here we go. Oh, okay, this is how you hack this turret. Wow, they actually took that damage. Alright, what does this do? Illusion. Now heal yourself. Where is this going? Go. Oh, that's a dot damage. Do it. This is the main reason I don't like Matrix combat. It's just kind of tedious. Blocked. Is he done? He's done. Okay. Can an attack program hack it? I guess so. both those turrets, right? I think we're fine then. Okay. We should just end it. Make my way in here. Jack out, here we go. So I don't need to... Oh, there's a lot of them though. Oh wow, that goes really far. Yo, punch that turret. Aim accuracy plus 12%. Guess we get rid of you first then. Ooh. Done. Can I? No, like color intermediate. I just attack, I guess. I can approach from this side. Punching that turret. Ooh, 11 damage. Well, Dietrich can heal himself. There we go. If you heal wounds immediately, it's not too bad. How much life does he have left? Can't tell. Oh. Oh. Oh, just dumb. Oh, don't hit blitz. The acid killed her on her own turn. That's pretty funny. Reload. Trigger. Reload. Finish him off? No? Turret didn't finish him off. Interesting. Dunzo? Do we have more reinforcements? What the hell is going on here? Still's one more enemy. Hide behind this this cart of goods. Here we are. There's the last one. Is he a sniper? He might be a sniper actually. Might be a sniper. No sniper battle. Let's do it. Accuracy up. One more turn before I can heal. Hey, that really hurt. Thankfully, I think my heal's up. Yep, there you go, 16. See, it's just the inevitability of it all. Like, he's definitely done. It just takes me forever to get. Running? What the hell is that? Finished. Heal him up. Yeah, once again, this is the stupid thing about it, right? Gotta wait for your cooldown so you can heal. Well, you know what to heal? He's wounded. Whatever. Fine. Let's get out of here. Oh, whoa. There's a lot of them. That was not good. That was actually probably the worst plan. Dietrich is in huge, huge trouble. I did not expect 3 people to be lying in ambush on the way out. is why you should do your actions in 2 phase vault, because now he's about to get shot up. Or not. Oh god, that hurts so much. Oh, there's one more too. Oh, never mind, there's 5. 6. Gotta get the hell out of here, dude. Get the hell away. Heal yourself. Do I line of sight on these guys? I guess I have one. Alright, I'm gonna draw them to me then. No Overwatch. Okay. 4 damage. Oh, the grenade's gonna be really good. Is there a way to rotate this map? I'm trying to like rotate this whole thing. I guess there isn't. Yeah, because I'm trying to get to this square. I can't. Oh no, there it is. They don't all have grenades, because that would be really bad. Yo, punch? No, nothing? Okay, well, in that case. Oh wow. My line of sight's really bad on the sniper now. I'm gonna Overwatch. Oh, can I? Here we go. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yo, Overwatch is real strong. Uh-oh. Alexander, no please. Oh, hit me with the baseball bat. It's okay. There's a lot of HP, too. Reload. Ouch, just dropped it. Let's see. Can't do anything. Okay. Here's one. We're probably done. Still wounded. Well, you can't shoot all of us. Let's go. If he gets a grenade, that would be huge. Can't even see him. Whatever. Alexander, come over here. Can I shotgun him? Done. That's it. That's all the enemies. Should I save? Transition to new location. Sure. How's our smuggler friends doing? They did say they were getting attacked. You burst through the door to the Humanist compound and into the crisp night air. You're not far from your extraction point. Time to go. Still kind of wounded. Wait, why can't I? Oh, because I don't know what's going on with the. Let's let the sniper go first. No. Go. Sniper. It's interesting. It doesn't cost a turn to switch between sniper and shotgun. It's actually more likely with a shotgun, so I'm gonna... Iger is your soldier. Soldier. Ah, there we go. Damn it, there's so many of them. Problem, I can't use my explosion without 2 AP. This could go really, really wrong. I'm thinking the effective range is actually our foe. Oh hell yeah, we got our allies covering our back. Okay, so they have to split the forces. Come here. There's 5? Okay, there's at least 6 of them. Grenade! Well, it's only AP, but we do lose a turn each. Oh, that's actually damage. I can heal. Actually, no. The AoE is probably better. Oh, it's not enough though. Better off healing. Wolves hurt the most. Let's kill this guy first. If I can. Oh, I goofed. I forgot. He doesn't actually. I just wasted a turn. That's real. Oh, he's got spells too. alive somehow? What? Not anymore. I guess. Iker actually needs to move forward if she wants this thing. Alright, I have two gang members still alive. But they're under fire. Gotta go rescue them, I guess. Well, at least my neutral guys are putting in work. One whole damage. So annoying to get rid of this one guy. Are you serious? Done. Finally. We're moving up. What happened to the big troll? There he is. Oof. Yeah, he's taking heavy fire. Let's go for it. See how the situation is. There's only two of them left, right? There's one and two. Sure. I might actually. Can I heal my teammates even? I guess I should. Holy shit, this guy is hurt. It's fine. There's only two of them left, and I have like 8 people here. Let's spend this turn getting it. Alexander's fine. It'd be really bad for him to eat it now. Good job. It's just these two, right? I'm gonna go over here and give everyone an accuracy aura. I hope there's a buff that makes that accuracy aura bigger next time. explosion from here, but collateral damage might be too high. See if my sniper can hit anybody. Nope, I can't. There we go. 16. Damn, sniper shots are just. Oh, she's never leaving my team. Just one more left. He's done. No way he survives this. Oh, well, he can heal himself. This could be a problem. This one. 91%. Freaking walk on there and end it. There we go, we're finally done. Oh. And the worst part is, enemies don't get drops in this game, so there's really no reason to fight, ever. There we go. Maxim looks up at the sound of your approach. If he's surprised to see you, he doesn't show it. Crazy night, huh? He pulls a flask from his jacket pocket and takes a long swig, then looks you in the eye. I hope this was worth the trouble. Any luck finding our money in there? Nope, I don't think they ever had it to begin with, but I guarantee you, they'll think pretty hard before crossing smugglers again. I can live with that. Wow, he's surprisingly nonchalant about not getting paid. Thank Christ that's over with. You okay, Alexander? The young man looks shell-shocked. He holds his rifle clenched tight in his trembling hands. Yeah, Uncle Dietrich. Yeah, I'm okay. But those guys, I knew them. One of them was my bunkmate. I killed him. Couldn't be helped. If you hadn't, he'd have killed you. Believe it. We're gonna take you away from here. Back to the cruise bazaar. Get you the help that you need. Yeah. Okay. Dietrich glances over his shoulder. Thanks for this, boss. My nephew is safe and I owe you. Just one other thing. The Dragon Slayer is happy too. Just did a ballsy thing. Protected my family and gave a monster a bloody nose in the process. Glad to hear that he approves. You should be. When the Dragon Slayer is pleased, he tends to be generous with his rewards. I still don't quite understand how the totems in this universe work. They're just like... Are they actually gods? I can feel the power coursing through me, boss. I don't know what form it'll take yet. But it's there, and soon enough I'll be able to use it. I don't mean to break this up, but we need to get moving. Kid, you're with us. The rest of you, pile into that other van. You can continue having your moment when we get back to Shadowrun. The Cruise Bazaar. The U-Bahn ride home feels especially comforting today. The Berlin chapter of the Humanist Poly Club has suffered a terrible blow, and you're the one who dealt it. Volker Stahl's plan to incite a bloody wave of violence across Berlin is derailed. It isn't often that a Shadowrunner gets to prevent an atrocity on the job. Go out of his way to make you feel like the good guy. Your PDA rings and the face of your fixer, Paul Amsel, appears on the screen. Skirmer, I have new information to discuss about the estate. Please come as soon as you can. Alright, time for an event's plot. Let's see what Samuel's got to say about this. Hello again, my friend. What can I do for you? Alright, I've uncovered what Humanus is up to. You'll find the details on his datapad. Beckenbauer eyes the plans on the datapad, then nods grimly. This fits with Humanus' established pattern of behavior, horrific and vile. According to this datapad, Humanus compounds all over Berlin have received similar shipments. They're planning to deploy the gas tomorrow morning. He exhales sharply, then nods again. I have a feeling that the Flux State will have a thing or two to say about this. Stahl has overstepped his bounds. His hubris will be his doing. You mark my words. Within the next few hours, the Humanist Polyclub is going to take a hammering that will make the Night of Rage look like a peace rally. I owe you a great deal, Skirmer. We all do. I'll wire your payment to the account number Damsel provided. Well, hey man, that's, and you get paid for doing this too? Good times. Let's see what's up with Silk. How's Silk doing? Oh, okay. Some donations. The new library is marvelous. You have worked miracles for this organization. Our next goal is to purchase a set of Trode nets for our new training program. I have high hopes for his plans. With these devices, we could teach job skills to the least educated members of our society in a fraction of the time it would take for them to learn on their own. With 400 Union, we can make the purchase. Whatever you can spare will be most appreciated. Alright, man, I'm just single-handedly funding your entire organization, I guess. I can scarcely believe it. With this donation, we have met our penultimate goal. I'll send a volunteer to the Data Haven to acquire the Trode nets. In the meantime, I will make the happy announcement to our guests. I think you get new. Alright. Let's see what's up with all the folks here. That was pretty short, actually. Alexei Lane leans on his crutch, while staring at the Berlin sky. Nothing moves above but the gray clouds. His faraway look is only broken when you approach. Something I could do for you? I want to hear more about the war. Lane grumbles and massages phantom pain in his synthetic legs. Damn it, why won't the world just let an old soldier fade away, like MacArthur promised? We're military? Where did you serve? Back home with the Finnish Defense Force. Jaeger Brigade. Lane clenches and unclenches a fist, either out of repressed anger or more phantom pain. His weathered face betrays nothing. The Russians thought to come at us from the north as well as the west, through the Lapland, thinking us weaker there. They thought wrong, and the snow was painted pink on both sides of the border. Tell me about the Euro Wars. A second. Doubt there's much I could tell you that you wouldn't have learned in school, that you should have learned in school. Russians invaded. Hell, if I can remember why. The world was more of a mess back then than it is today, if you ask me. They get into this in Shadowrun Hong Kong. One of the guys who was first hand in the Euro Wars is a party member in that game. They attacked Poland and Finland first. Poland broke within months, opening the door into Germany. I had no contacts in Berlin back then, mind you. Can't really say how bad things were here. Had battles of my own to worry about. What was important to this place? Oh. Nothing stays secret for long in the F-state. The flux demands transparency. The truth will always get out. And the truth about Monica's death is now in the breeze, flowing through the streets of Berlin. Next come visitors of uncertain intent. Some may just be bottom feeders, sniffing after the leavings of the dead. Others will be hunters, looking to exploit a leaderless tribe. I'll step out to fill the whip. Come on, Monica. The old troll nubs the thumb pensively across a single, unbroken horn. You might have something there, if you can keep that group together. These are there are trying times up ahead. Seen it before. Too many times before. Oh. Let's see. No one else? She doesn't have anything to say to me. Oh, no, there she is, Simi. Last time we saw her, she was doing VR of Terminator 2, basically. So, Simi can't. Weaves an awkward dance through scattered refuse. Her two thin legs wobble, but she keeps her footing throughout. The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there will be sun. That's probably a reference to something, right? Like, that sounds familiar. Oh, use the little sun down here. It's not literal sun, silly. It means tomorrow will be a better day. Monica used to say something like that. Is this a reference to, not Pride and Prejudice? Oh. When I was, Gone with the Wind. When I was tired, when I was sad, when I only wanted to sleep, she would tell me that. She told me I would forget, that the pain would go away. I've lived many lives, but I've been an orphan more times than anything. It was the first story I found when I needed to get away. Anybody ever try to get you off The Sims? But I need them. Monica understood that, and Zack says they're safe. I don't know what I do without them. Without them, I dream. And I don't want to dream. I don't want to remember. They help me forget. They help me be strong and smart, and I never lose anyone. That makes it a good thing. Oh, God. I don't want to be, like, too enabling, but you can't hard force them out of this, right? Bears to be strong and smart in the real world. I wish I could be. You like it here in the cruise, Bowser? Kim turns her head so as to not look you in the eye. Her posture is that of someone who fears the possible repercussions of her answer. It's good. I can get what I need from Zack Flash or Dr. Esquivel, and he'll let me pay however I can. Monica was always nice, and Paul Amsel. And the angel is nice to me too, usually. I know Monica is gone now, but I can stay, right? Of course you can stay, Kim. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I don't know what else I would do. We can go to the bar and talk to that... The wine keller? I'm assuming that means the wine cellar. Here's Lucky Strike. See what she has anything to say about this. Lucky Strikes raises an eyebrow as you approach. A burning cigarette dangles between the fingers of her right hand. She holds a glass of scotch in her left. Skirmer, fancy seeing you again. Yeah, well, I was hoping you'd want to chat. Oh? She takes a drag on her cigarette. Color me intrigued. What do you want to talk about? Been finding much work recently? Yeah, but the cruise bazaar isn't the best place to do it. There aren't a ton of jobs out here if you don't have a network. You don't have people in the cruise bazaar? Nope, my crew is in mid. There's lots of work out there if you can handle it, but life isn't as pleasant there as it is in the cruise bazaar. She gestures with her cigarette, the tip glowing red in the gloom. I mostly visit your lovely little kids between runs to restock and relax. It's a good place for that. Nice and slow paced. It's... She pauses for a moment to search for a word. Quaint. It's a nice enough place, but I don't know if that's the word I'd use. No? I would. Compared to most of Berlin, the cruise bazaar is about as quaint as it gets. Hell, it's verging on bucolic, with all of its hand-holding and the rooftop gardens. You found yourself a lovely, picturesque little corner of Berlin, Skirmer. Guess I have to give your old boss some credit for that. Is the bartender here any good? Nope. It's called Der Wine Keller for a reason. The guy behind the bar is more like a bush league sommelier than he is a proper bartender. Knows a bit about wine, but when it comes to mixing drinks, he's useless. If you want a drink, I recommend sticking to something simple. Try ordering something with more than 2 ingredients and you're asking for trouble. So you're a wine drinker then? Me? No. Never developed a taste for it. She tilts her glass, swirling the amber liquid inside. I'm not a big fan of sweet things. Never have been. Not even when I was a kid. I've always preferred smoke. Well, that kind of explains her personality too. If you don't like wine, why hang out in a wine bar? Because it's usually empty in here, and I don't like to be bothered. As hopeless as the bartender is, it's tough to mess up scotch if you order a neat. Oh. Well, see. I wonder if she gets a quest of her own or any storylines. Could be interesting. Time to go visit Zack Flash, magic extraordinaire. Welcome back, my friend. What can old Zack get you? Oh, it's the same, oh no, it's the same, it's the same. You need Biotech 3 in order to... Does this steal special? Do they get new, new stuff as you progress in the games? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. See what's up with the good doctor. second. Alright. Cyberware. See if we got any more cyber. Okay, there's definitely. This was not here before. The 4,000 upgrades. Ah, +1 charisma. This might be useful actually. How much money do I have? I only got 2,000 new yen. That's really not great. Let me see. Take that. Well, supposedly the cyberware causes essence loss. This affects the magic rating of your character, as magic is equal to essence rounded down. Magic is very important for spellcasters. The base number of spell slots available to the caster is equal to half their magic, rounded down. Therefore, losing essence can cause spell slots to be permanently lost. In addition, each point of magic loss during increases all spell cooldowns by +1. Casting a spell again while it's cooling down. You cannot have less than... Whoa! Okay, so... Lesson learned, you generally don't want cyberware as a caster, but I mean 1 is okay, right? Like it's not. Oh, let's round it down. So you might as well have 2. Let me see. 7 charisma now. Now my essence is still 5, right? Let me see. What increases essence actually? Body. No, it increases hit points. How do you raise your essence, or is that just the limit? What increases? Well, let's go get our money first. Let me see how this. There's no freaking. Alright, here we go. Shaman. Spells. No. Key attributes charisma. Maybe I can just do the problem is shaman don't have their own offense spells. That's a problem. But hey. Let's see if there's anything oh, who the hell is this? Maintenance worker. He's just a maintenance worker. Hey buddy, sorry to bother you, but I could use some help here. You want to make an extra little scratch? Shouldn't take long. What's the problem? Well, me and my buddy Victor got called in for the next keys over. Something's wrong with the sewers around here. Your local plumbers and mechanics are all useless. Vic and I talked to them. Tried to get them to give us the maintenance schedule for your sewer pumps. They just scratched their heads at us. Said that the machinery down there just took care of itself. My best guess is that your pumps have shut down. Happens from time to time without proper maintenance. When the pumps shut down, the waste starts piling up, and it's causing some pretty major overflow problems downstream. What do you want me to do about it? Well, Victor went down into the sewers while I was getting stuff out of the truck. When I came back, well, I was about to climb down there, but I heard these awful screams. They went on, and then they just stopped. I froze up. Nearly shit myself, to be honest. I don't know what to do. But I can't go down there. Not after that. The problem is probably something basic. A clog that needs to be cleared. Something like that. Restarting the pumps should take care of it. But no goddamn way am I going down there. If you'll do the job for me, I'll give you the new yen we were paid for. I don't need it. You can have it all. I can live without the money, but someone's got to fix those pumps before I can leave. How many new yen are we talking here? 500. For a job this quick, it's good money. Alright. You're a lifesaver, chum. If you find Victor, well, he's still alive down there. Tell him I'm sorry. Oh, you're just gonna abandon your buddy there, man? That's messed up. Do we got new inventory? There it is. Everything's so expensive. Ah, here we are. This gives everything is else? Okay, so yeah, new tier stuff is up there. We should get some money first, I guess, before we go, because I gotta buy some. Probably gotta buy some. Oh, well, we can talk to our people too. Hey, Scar, I was hoping to see you. Do you have another run lined up for us yet? I'm strapped for cash. Why the hell are you strapped for cash? With the amount of network we've been doing, you should be rolling in Nubian. What can I say, Chief? He tries on a thoroughly unconvincing smile, but the immediate seems to think better of it. The anxious look returns to his face. I have expensive tastes. I was hoping for a straight answer. You got a talent for deflection, Blitz. And you're annoyingly persistent. If you must know, I'm in debt. That's where all the money is going. He hesitates before responding. When he does, his voice carries an edge of annoyance. No offense, but this is getting a little too personal, Chief. My debts are none of your business. You come to me begging for work, then tell me it's none of my business? No, Blitz, you tell me why you need the money. Blitz shakes his head in exasperation. Alright, fine. First off, you don't need to worry about anyone coming after me. My debts are to a bunch of old contacts. If I don't pay them, I'm going to lose them. And in this line of work, it isn't smart to burn bridges. Second, before you ask, those debts are for services rendered. I was in a tight spot. I need some help, and I threw a lot of IOUs to get in. Third and finally, the trouble I was in involved a girl. I'll tell you about it if you ask me to, but we're verging deep into personal feelings territory. So if you don't want to hear me sob over my ex-girlfriend, you drop the subject now. So it's up to you, Chief. You really want to go down this road, or should we keep this relationship professional? You're clearly preoccupied with this. In our line of work, preoccupied can get you killed. So spit it out and we'll deal with it. Blitz meets your gaze for a moment, then looks away in sighs. Alright, where to begin? I met Emily, in Dragonfall. She was the first person who was ever more important to me than myself. Well, that's not. I was crazy about her, Chief. To this day, she's the only person I've ever met who could outdeck me. And the real kicker is she wasn't even a decker by trade. There was nothing she wasn't good at. I liked to dabble in rigging. But Emily, that girl could pick up anything that she set her mind to. Sounds like a hell of a girl. She was. She made things right. No matter how stupid I was, no matter what I got myself into, she made it right. I don't think much of many people, Chief. Emotional attachments aren't really my thing. Love seems like a diluted word these days, so I won't waste it on Emily. Let's just say she was important to me. And then I lost her. I didn't know what was happening. It came out of nowhere. One day she was just gone, along with most of my decking gear. The only explanation was a handwritten note on old-fashioned paper. Leave me alone. That was it. We've been together for years, and that was all she left me. That and this beat-up old cyber deck. Naturally, I freaked. We'd had our share of arguments, but we never had a huge blowout or anything. Couldn't think of anything that'd drive her to do a thing like that. Mostly, I felt hurt, so I searched for her, in the real world and in the Matrix. That's when that turned up nothing, I started tapping my contacts, and that was when I started racking up my debt. So, did you find her? No, she's gone somewhere, without a trace. Well, if you have enough money, you can ask Alice, right? I looked high, I looked low. I poked into everything I could think of, and my contacts did the same. He shakes his head. She's gone, Chief. At this point, I've accepted it, but I still have to replace it. I'm surprised you've given up so easily. There must be some place you haven't looked. He blinks. I don't know, Skirmer. I really did look everywhere, and at great personal cost. If she means that much to you, you owe it to yourself to try. Yeah, you might be right. He shakes his head. Fuck. Thought I was done with this. But you're right. Without some kind of closure, I'm never going to be at peace with this. Thanks for a talk, Chief. I'll let you know how it goes. Hey! Another personal quest incoming. Should I save? Oh, probably have to talk to him again. Hey, what's up, Dante? Hello. Let's talk to everybody before we, As you approach, Iker turns to face you. Her rifle has been field stripped and is lying in pieces on a sheet of butcher paper. Arranged in a neat row along the edge of the paper are bottles of copper solvent, bore cleaner, and lighter fluid. Our fearless leader returns. What do you need? Thoughts on the last run? After all the moral ambiguity that we've been wading through, hitting Humanus was incredibly satisfying. What they had planned makes my blood boil just thinking about it. Still wish I could have put a bullet in Stahl's spine. But if the fallout from today's run is as far-reaching as I think it's gonna be, he's probably going to wind up wishing he were dead. That's almost as satisfying. You said you didn't want to see history repeat itself. What exactly did you mean by that? I'd rather not get into it. I wasn't talking about Monica, if that's what you're thinking. Let's just say I've had bad luck with underexperienced teammates and leave it at that. I'd like to hear about your time in the KSK. No, I'm not in the habit of sharing war stories, Skirmer. Not with people who've never served. It doesn't have to be a war story. I just want a better idea of who I'm running with. She looks at you in the eye for a moment, evaluating. Finally, she shrugs. Alright, Skirmer, you win. I owe everything to my time in the KSK, from my street name on down. So, you tell me what you want to know and we'll see where this goes. Tell me how you got your street name. Back when I was in basic training, a fellow recruit made a vulgar joke at my expense. He said that I reminded him of the north face of the Eiger, in the Bernese Alps. Huge and beautiful, but dangerous to climb. His tone left little doubt as to what sort of climbing he had in mind. I think that he was trying to proposition me in his clumsy way, poking me in front of other recruits to try to provoke a reaction. She shrugs. Anyway, he got one. I broke 3 of his ribs, and the name stuck. Served him right. You might actually mean that, but then you might just be trying to get what it said. Well, I have to admit, your reaction does sound a bit extreme. She shakes her head. My reaction wasn't extreme. It was necessary. If I hadn't broken that twit's ribs, the name Eiger would have meant a difficult sexual conquest to a whole barracks full of recruits. That's what I would have been to them. From that point on, my own accomplishments be damned. Thanks to what I did, my new name meant the troll who doesn't take shit from anyone instead. It's a name I'm proud to go by, and I've hung on to it ever since. Eiger pauses a moment, then looks into you. A word of advice to you, Skirmer. If anyone ever puts you in the position that he put me in, if he demeans you in front of your unit, whatever his intent, the appropriate response is to put that person down. Hard. Out in the field, nothing will kill you faster than losing the respect of your team. By that logic, I should have broken your ribs after Monica died. In your place, I would have. She looks you up and down, appraising you. Not that you would have succeeded if you tried, but in terms of saving face, it would have done wonders. In all seriousness, Skirmer, I'm sorry I put you through that, in that position. I shouldn't have, and I acknowledge that. Shreds, anything else? Or can I get back to prepping for our next run? Tell me about your team. She nods. Fair enough. I guess you... Oh, I thought you were only going to get like one line every mission, but apparently you just get the whole thing. Fair enough. I guess you earned it. There were 8 of us, 2 commando squads, working together as a single unit. Schmidt and Lange were combat deckers. Wolf was our rigger and combat engineer. Fisher handled demolitions. Braun was a medic, and the rest of us, Metzger, Kruger, and myself, who were weapon experts. No mages. Interesting. Our mission was extraterritorial, technically illegal, but important enough to justify the risk. We'd been sent across the border into Poland. The Russian mafia had set up a cottage industry and human trafficking all along the Oder-Neisse line, and it was our job to disrupt it. It sounds more like police action than a military operation. Wouldn't the GSG usually handle that kind of thing? Typically, yes, but in recent years, the Russian mob has become more and more heavily militarized. The brass decided that they pose enough danger to the region to qualify as a terrorist threat, and that brought them under our purview. Anyway, we were a good team. Experienced. We went through a lot together, and we chalked up a lot of kills. In our own way, I'd like to think we did some good. Who was in command? Metzger. Best leader I've ever had the pleasure of serving under. Her face clouds. He was a hell of a man. But he went down with the rest of the team. Everyone but me. What happened to them? Shakes her head. No, that's one story I won't be telling. They died. That's all you need to know. Sure thing, fearless leader. Good talk. How about Glory? For the first time since you met her, Glory's expression seems to brighten. It's subtle, but it's there. You're sure. Skirmer, pleasure, as always. Need anything from me? Any thoughts about the last run? I have no strong feelings about the run one way or another. Humanus is, of course, a horrible organization. But then, so is every other target we run against. To say that they deserved it would be redundant. She pauses for a moment to consider. I suppose it would have been nice to see Stahl die, but his days are numbered anyway. When the Flux State discovers what he was planning, he's going to wish that he was never born. How are you from? Golden's always strong, no problems here. If I didn't know any better, I think you were warming up to it. I suppose you might say that. I don't talk to many people, so it just doesn't seem to be worth the effort. I don't really feel much anymore. Not since. She caresses the chrome of her forearm with a hand made of articulated steel. If that's true, why are you still talking to me? I suppose because you've shown an interest, and because you haven't let me push you away. She locks eyes with you. Her expression is blank. I don't want to mislead you, Skirmer. I still don't feel anything. Not a warmth for friendship or even trust. But I can appreciate the effort you're making. It's something new. It's worthy of exploring. You said that things went bad after you turned 14. I'd like to keep talking about that. No, I'd rather not. Because I don't see a reason to. The memories are unpleasant, and dredging them off doesn't serve any real purpose. You're wrong about that. The last time we talked, it had an impact on you. That's reason enough to continue. She pauses a moment. She pauses a moment, to consider your words. A troubled look on her face. I suppose that's true. Feeling discomfort is better than feeling nothing at all. Alright, here's the deal. Skirmer, I'm going to talk. You listen. When I'm done, I'm done. No complaints and no arguments. And we'll see what happens. Deal? Deal. Right. The 1,000-meter stare creeps back into Glory's head. A moment later, she's locked away in her own head again, reliving memories she'd long since filed away. So a few days after my 14th birthday, I began to express, magically. Go on, Glory. There's a long pause, and Glory becomes more animated. Anyway, I turned 14. I awakened. I don't even remember how my parents found out about it anymore. I think my dad caught me playing with a tiny city spirit that I coaxed out of a pile of garbage, something like that. With everything that happened afterward, those days are kind of a blur. What I do remember is my father's response to the revelation that his little girl was a witch, a hex. He beat the living shit out of me with his fists, then his belt, and then a claw hammer that he grabbed out of his toolbox. All the while my mother was screaming and flailing at him. She took a couple of licks with the hammer too. What about the neighbors? Did anyone call the police or Pro Securitas? Oh, sure they did. Our neighbors were perfectly decent people. Even if they couldn't admit it to themselves, they knew what my father was up to. When they heard a woman and a little girl screaming bloody murder, they were the first to pick up the call. Unfortunately, police response times can leave a little something to be desired. I assume they showed up eventually, but I'll never know. I was out of there well before anyone showed up to intervene. But we'll get to that in a second. So finally, after what felt like an hour, Dad stopped tuning me up with the hammer. I had broken ribs, a busted arm, I couldn't see out of my left eye, and my entire right side was covered with one giant bruise. I was bleeding all over the place, making a real mess of the carpet. The old bastard spat on me, his bleeding, crying daughter. He spat on me and told me I was this Tefos Huri, the devil's whore. Then he kicked me out of the house. As I was crawling away, my father told me that if he or any of his Cruz Ritter brothers ever saw me again, they'd treat me as the Berlin chapter treats the enemies of God. If you're not familiar with how the Cruz Ritters here in Berlin deal with heretics, it's decidedly less pretty than what my dad and his buddies did to their victims. I got the hint. The next morning, I hitched a ride out of Stuttgart. Go on, Glory. I wound up in Tübingen. I figured it'd be safe enough to find medical attention, and maybe to call home. It's not far from Stuttgart, but it has a huge student community that I figured I could blend into, and the university there has a decent magic department. My ride dropped me off at the university hospital, and they patched me up pretty good. Had some questions for me how I got beaten up, but I lied and told them I had been mugged, which played nicely into my complete lack of cash, credit, and identification. Glory pauses for a moment and looks down at the floor and then fixes her eyes on you. She is visibly tense. We're gonna fast forward through the next few years. I was a kid on the street. I got by as best I could, doing whatever I had to. The rest we can leave up to your imagination. Good? I don't need to hear what you're comfortable talking about. Nothing. Good. Thanks. So anyway, I lived on the street for a few years, got used to being hungry all the time, got used to getting rained on, got by. I was painfully aware that I had magical talents, but without any kind of training or guidance, I didn't really know how to use or develop them. Truth be told, they scared me, so I more or less ignored them. So it just sort of went like that until a few days after my 17th birthday. Then I met Marta and everything changed. Marta was a sweet girl. At first I took her for a street kid like me. Her clothes were a little ratty, and she seemed comfortable being near me. But she also looked well fed and happy, and those were two things I hadn't been in years. We started hanging out, and before I knew what was happening, I was in love. There was a genuine attraction between Martha and me, I think. But I also think a lot of my affection for her came from the fact that she was the first person in years to give a damn about me. She cared, and I loved her for that. Glory pauses. She looks flustered. Her composure cracks. She stares at you for a beat, then nods. A few ragged breaths later, she continues. Martha told me about a place she'd been hanging out. She invited me to join her there. It was called Fruistel, the fireplace, and it was sort of a commune for dispossessed youth. It turns that a lot of the street kids I have known over the years had moved there. The way they disappeared, I assumed they'd been kidnapped or killed, or had gone back to their parents. But there they were. I remember being kind of angry about it. How did everybody get the memo about this but me? Martha calmed me down. She was good at helping me work through my feelings, and I wound up following her to Fruistel. To a street kid, it was practically paradise. The owner, a guy named Harrow, had set up this little farm just south of Tübingen in the Schombusch forest. The Schombusch is officially a nature park, but not many people go there nowadays. Too much fear of paranormal animals, I guess. Anyway, park or not, it was plenty big for us to hide in. It was also safe and pretty, and the farm was well stocked with food. Most importantly, Fruistel gave us a sense of community and stability that we never had on the street, and we loved Harrow for that. He became like a surrogate father to us. Glory pauses again, and you recognize the distinctive flush in her cheeks. She seems to have come out of her reverie once again. That's enough for now. I need to process all of this, and I don't want to continue forward until I had the chance to do that. I know this all happened years ago, but I guess it's still pretty raw to me, so I'm going to ask you to give me some space for a while. We can pick it back up again later. Alright. Let's go check this mission computer, get some payment, check your inbox for messages, hijack shipments. Oh, that Bakunari. If you value new hardware coming into the cruise bazaar, we need to talk. One of my weapons shipments was hijacked by a local gang. I can promise 500 new yen, and if you recover the shipment, I'll have some new gear on the shelf. Come see me for the date. What the hell? Recovering a shipment of arms pays the same amount as going into the sewers to unclog stuff? That's weird. Claim payment? How much do we get? Oh, automatic deductions for Alice. Okay, so the 50k is going to be automatic. You don't actually have to save it up. That's fine. Oh. Here you find a complete manuscript of my conversation with Herr Schmidt, a potential client. Let's see. As you see, the details of the job are a bit more vague than I would like, but the payout's quite substantial. After reading the transcript, you may choose whether or not. Alright. On one other thing, Herr Schmidt provided me with a little device to assist you on the run. He calls it a little black box, apparently. It can be used to compromise the power and security systems of the run site. If you opt to take the job, be sure to take it with you. Amso's image flickers, then winks away. Alright, what happens? Great, Herr Amsel. I trust that this connection is secure. Naturally, to whom do I have the pleasure of speaking? Call me Herr Schmidt. Very well, Herr Schmidt, you have some business for me? Indeed, I have a job for your team. A simple matter. Judging by what I have heard of your team, I imagine they will be well suited to the task. Go on. The interests that I represent have learned that AG Chemi Europa is working on a new company-wide project. Something very secret. Very new. Reliable sources inform me they're keeping a working prototype of this new venture at their Berlin facility. I see. And your employers wish us to acquire this prototype for them? Naturally. It's so weird that corporate espionage becomes this commonplace in the future. What is this project? If you want my team to grab the prototype for you, they'll need to know what they're looking for. I'm not at liberty to say. I can tell you that the prototype has been branded MKV1. Or Mark 6, I guess? I don't know. It can tell you that your team will find on the 25th floor of the Berlin facility, in the office of one Albrecht Haushofer. Further, I can assist your team in disabling building security and gaining access to the 24th floor. From there, however, they'll be on their own. Such vagueness can be dangerous, Herr Schmidt. I will not commit my team to a run without a better understanding of what the job entails. Facing such dangers is the purpose of a Shadowrunner, Herr Amsel. Your team will be rewarded handsomely for their services. My employers have set aside 20,000 new yen for the job. Consider it hazard pay if you want. Make it 25,000, or look elsewhere. 22,500 new yen. Final offer. You know, just make it. Yeah. Very well. I'll pass your offer on to my team. Are there any further details you could provide? Haushofer's office will be locked behind a vault door. The lock is old-fashioned, of the mechanical variety. I'll provide your team with a copy of that key. Who the hell is this guy that he just has a copy of the key? I'll also supply you with a little black box, a solid-state device that your team can use to override a variety of building systems. Your team will enter the facility's underground garage. When your team has acquired the MKVI, have them exit through the same garage. I will have a van there waiting to extract them. Sure, we'll accept the job. There's no reason not to do all the... Let's see if there's any... Blitz is relatively shortcoming. Is forthcoming with his subquest, I guess. Post-paid data for sale. Man, a safe house. Oh, I haven't talked to Dietrich yet. Alright, we gotta do that. How's this been going? Wow, we're already an hour and a half? Shit. It really came through for me, boss. You ever need anything from me? Anything at all? You come. Then you call on me. I'll come run. How's Alexander Holt? He's a good kid. That nephew of mine. Give him some time and he'll shake Stahl's programming. It might take a while, but he'll adjust to life here in Großbauser. In the meantime, I found a good home for him. Samuel's agreed to take him in. Is that wise? Samuel's employees have no love for humanists. Most of them don't even like humans. Best thing for the kid will be to learn through immersion. If he stays with Samuel's group, he'll have no choice but to interact with metahumans. Soon enough, he'll learn that they're no different than anyone else. First few days will be rough, no questions, but he'll make it through and come out on the other side a better man for it. Seems a tough kid, I'll tell you. You're a good man, boss. But on to other things. Remember what I was telling you back before we climbed into the van? Yeah, you were saying that the Dragon Slayer was happy, and you'd been given a reward. That's right. Thanks to our, let's not mince words, heroic actions back in that swine pit, the Dragon Slayer has seen fit to grant me his favor. His grin widens. And now I know what that means. And what can I do with it? Well, don't keep me in suspense. This, he gestures at the ground near us. As you watch, the spot that Dietrich is pointing at begins to glow. Lines of force spread out in a scintillating web, and a feeling of raw power suffuses your body. I've just torn open a channel between myself and the Dragon Slayer. That power you feel is his power, pouring through the aether and into that spot. If you're familiar with ley lines, it's the same basic concept. I consecrate a patch of ground, and as long as I stand in that spot, all of my magic gets stronger. Not bad, huh? What about another major shaman? Could someone else benefit from one of these channels too? Don't see why not. He shrugs. Like I said, it's basically a ley line. As long as you're on the Dragon Slayer's good side. I don't see why you couldn't use it. My idol. He isn't stingy with his gifts. Anyway, boss, I want to keep fiddling with this, learning to properly control it. And I'm sure you've got other things to do as well. You take care of whatever else needs doing, and by our next run, I'll be ready to use this. I'm curious, Dietrich, why did you switch from fronting a band to running the shadows? Honestly, working the stage was getting a little boring, boss. Spitting and screaming at the world was fine and good when I was a kid, but it just didn't do it for me anymore. The Dragon Slayer wanted me to fight a real enemy, so I left the band behind and I turned to the shadows. Shrugs. I don't know. Guess I figured that would be the best way to find one. Considering current events, I say you're not wrong about that. Yeah, I guess not. Feels kind of daunting, truth be told, but it's exciting. All the same, I've been looking for a worthy adversary for a while now. It's kind of satisfying, having a white whale to chase. Dietrich, you do know that the white whale killed Ahab, right? Yeah, of course I do. He grins. But it was a hell of a fight, wasn't it? How long have you been looking for a real enemy? Shrugs. Not too long. Ever since I took down the last one. The last one? Of course, I might be able to sit around feeling pleased with myself if I followed the Creator, or the Moon Maiden. Okay, so they're set gods, basically. But the Dragon Slayer ain't that kind of idol. If I'm not drinking, I'm fighting. And if I'm not doing either one of those things, I'm looking for a bigger, better fight to get it next time. Dietrich produces a flask from his jacket pocket and raises a salute. It's a remarkably simple code to live by. Dietrich, when does this pattern end? Well, boss, the way I figure it, it'll end when I pick a fight that I can't win. He smiles sadly. Might be this one. Maybe the next. It'll be hard to top a great dragon. But that's the way the Dragon Slayer wants it, and who am I to refuse it? Roughly turns away. That's enough talk for today, boss. Besides, you got other things to do, I'm sure. Let's see what Paul's got to say. Welcome back, I have a news for you. In your absence, I have been looking into the Harfeld Manor. Whatever Frischwinge is up to, it's both large-scale and well-funded. I've uncovered a money trail leading from holding companies all over the world to an offshore fund with a dummy address. From there, all that freshly laundered money flows directly into the Harfeld estate. Wait a second, why would the dragon have investors? That doesn't make sense. It's doubtful that the Firewing's pawns even know where their money is going. This is typical of draconic plots. Uncover a stream of money flowing behind the scenes, and there's a fair chance you'll find a dragon at the receiving end of it. To a dragon, conspiracy is second nature. Frischwinge was different. She didn't scheme or plot, she acted. Yes, and look where it got her. When the Firewing launched her attack on humanity, it was an act of hubris. She lashed out because she didn't consider our species to be a threat. It would be equally hubristic for us to assume that she will make the same mistake twice. I'll continue digging into this while you and your team tackle your next run. With luck, I will have more information to share upon your return. One last thing. Malit was able to restore the readable surface on one of Green Winter's DVDs. If you'd like to take a look, you'll find it sitting beside the player. I'll check that. Very good. Malit is still working on the other DVDs from the bundle. Many of them are extensively damaged, and getting anything off of them is proving to be quite a chore. She told me she'll be in touch, if and when she makes any headway. Alright, let's take a look at this DVD. Load the DVD, watch me. What is this? The 6 is the one, or what else? Oh no, this isn't. No, that's not the one. It's a second DVD, okay. Oh, what? The track one. Oh. So for the oh wow, every mission you get 60, like 6 tracks. That's pretty crazy. So for the past 5 hours, I've been poking around some of the crazier fringe theories relating to dragons and the SOX. As a reminder, the SOX is an irradiated wasteland between France and Germany. Got zoned off back in 08 after the Cattenom GAU reactor meltdown. There is still a whole bunch of landmines in that area from World War I and II, I think, between the area of France and Germany. Anyway, there's been all kinds of rumors floating around the place. I've heard stories about a walled city in there that operates on a survival of the fittest, kill or be killed basis. Sort of like a nightmare version of Berlin. All of the anarchy, but none of the stability that the F-state provides. Isn't a walled city a freaking in Hong Kong? I don't think so. Radiation, poisoning, cancer, and mana pollution are just the icing on the cake. So when Adrian helped the Luftwaffe shoot down Frischwinge down, she crashed into the SOX. That much is well known. What isn't as well known are all the modern day myths that have arisen about her since. And tonight, I've heard an earful. I chatted up a girl who claimed to be a ghost rat. That's a smuggler who operates in the SOX. She told me about a dragon cult called the Disciples of the Cleansing Fire. Apparently, these cultists worship some sort of radioactive ghost dragon. Could be Frischwinge, or could be nothing. But it's worth digging into, all the same. Another thing that my little ghost rat told me. The popular rumor in the SOS is that Frischwinge's astral form was, I guess you'd say mutated by all that background radiation. Some of the glowpunks out there say that she's shed her body like an old coat. Others say she's trapped, doomed to languish as an intangible, radioactive ghost. I don't know how much credence to give any of this. After all, I don't have any proof that my ghost rat is even a ghost rat. She might be. But then, she could also be a run-of-the-mill glowpunk. Or maybe she's just yanking my chain and never been to the SOX at all. Who knows? Well, it's food for thought anyway. I don't know whether the thought of some radioactive ghost dragon thing is any scarier than a genuine dragon is. But it's interesting, all the same. Now the big question is, will any of this get me any closer to finding Adrian? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no, but you can never tell. Alright, try 2. Alright, let's continue thinking out of the box. After the Dragonfall, the great dragon Kaltenstein came flying into the SOX to rescue the Firewing, but he was driven off. Some say killed by Lofweir and Nebelher. So what if there's another dragon involved in all of this? Winter grabs a thick leather-bound tome from the shelf behind him, licks a finger and begins to leaf through. Alright, so let's run down the list of major dragons that could be helping her. So first there's Golden Worm Lofweir, the CEO of Sadir Krupp, and possibly the single most dangerous being on Earth. Lofweir is a local boy, so he'd be in a position to help Firstwitch. He certainly has the financial capability to help her. He could send a small army into the SOX if he wanted. So he's definitely got the means, but I can't see how he'd have the motive. He actively prevented the Firewing's rescue back in 2012 after all. Same thing is true for Nebelher, so let's scratch the both of them off the list. He flips the page frowning. We got Adin, the Grey Surish. He's operating out of Turkey. By all accounts, he's not a fan of Lofweir. They're actively competing for territory in the Middle East. So I suppose that could be concerned motive. Reviving the Firewing might cause problems for the Golden Worm. But would he risk a war with Sadir Krupp by straying onto Lofweir's territory? Again, I don't think that's likely. Turns on the page. There's Seladir out in Wales. He's pretty heavily invested in Transys Neuronet, so he's got the money. But he's too busy dealing with the BTL killer scandal that Transys is going through out in London to get his claws dirty. I think that's a reference to Shadowrun Returns in the SOS. Dunkelzahn out in the UCAS. He pauses, shuts his head, and he slams the tome shut. No, this is a waste of time. The more I think about it, the more convinced I am. The Firewing is acting alone. Dragons don't cooperate unless they absolutely have to. After all, why bother making nice of your equals when you got an entire planet full of pawns at your disposal? They don't need to work together. They have us to exploit. While this track does load, it's clearly corrupted. The screen fills with meaningless text of stream of text. Alright, track 4. All clear, still my brother. Swear to, no. Track 5. Still meaningless. Track 6. Oh, here we go. Display goes. Valclair looks haggard. His eyes are heavily bagged and bloodshot, and his hair is mussed. He holds a cigarette in a steady hand. Hermione's me. I can't sleep. I don't know where you are. Out having fun, no doubt. Maybe flirting with one of those unattainable beauties that you're always chasing. Tries on a smile, but quickly disappears. Takes a drag on his cigarette. That's good. I want you to live a pleasant, normal life. After all, one of us should. Well, considering what happened to him, that's not what happened. I can still smell the smoke, Hermie. It's almost a year later, I can still taste the stench of burning corpses. When I sleep, I can hear the sirens and the screams. There's no sound in this world as horrible as a burned victim's screams. The doctors would call this PTSD, I'm sure. They'd have me in therapy, maybe dose me up on SSRIs like they do to our veteran soldiers. He chuckles and takes another drag. Quite a story for the tabloids. The great dragon slayer Adrian Valclair, mentally incapable of wrestling with his own demons. Shakes his head. No. No therapy for me, and certainly no medication. I have a reputation to live up to, however poorly deserved it is, however little I want it. He pauses, stubs out his cigarette. The dragon is still alive, Hermie. Of that I'm certain. One day I will find her. And then perhaps, I'll be able to sleep through the night. That's it. Let's go talk to... see our tech dealer. Get the drone fixed yet? I do. Just finished before you arrived. There's a complication though. What is it? The drone's got a custom AIOS stack on it. Someone wrote code that sits on a bootloader and configures the drone to only accept commands from a specific user. The thing works like a computer virus, so there's no way I can rip it out unless I got another brain from this model drone. Before you ask, yes, I looked into that. Problem is, this was a stolen corp drone, a discontinued model of a stolen corp drone. There are no parts for this thing on the market around here, so unless you know who locked this thing up so tightly, you're not going to get more use out of it than a doorstop. Alright, I'll ask around for its owner. Who the hell would I talk to about that? Let's see how Kami... Alto. I was wondering if you might be willing to trade a story or two. Girl temp. Well, you're new here, and I know you knew Monica. And I got a vague idea about what went down the night she died. But I want to know what you think your most exciting adventure has ever been. Hang on, how the hell did you hear about that? Remember? I'm Altug's ears and hands outside the cafe. We share a lot of intel, you and I. She smirks playfully. So what's the story between you two then? She glances away briefly before returning her gaze to you. I suppose I can tell you. If the Monica thing was a secret of yours, it's only fair I share one of my own. I never really went to school. Pretty much been a street kid as long as I can remember. And there was so much to learn from people outside the school that I never really bothered. It makes it difficult to get a job. So as all good street kids do, I chose a place to haunt with my friends and always hung out there. That was Altug's cafe, and he was super nice about me and mine. I felt more comfortable with him than I ever did in mine Vater. Father, I assume that's what it means? Her eyes narrow only for the briefest moment of the word. And we talked a lot when I was waiting around for my friends. He must have been fairly comfortable with me too, otherwise he wouldn't have offered me a job. What is it you do really? Technically I'm the barista, but like I said before, ears and hands. I run his errands, I gather gossip, and sometimes I even make coffee. I much prefer his hookah options though. Real coffee makes me paranoid. Speaking of which, I should probably get back to work. See you around. Let's go talk to Mr. Altug. What the hell is this? Luca Doer. Ah. Huh. Let me get down to business. My organization would like to retain your services for the indefinite future. But first, we're asking you to go on a trial run, an audition of sorts, to prove that you're the right man for the job. Assuming you complete this trial to our satisfaction, I will then offer you a variety of simple tasks. All of these should be achievable in the course of your everyday business. You won't need to go out of your way or expose yourself to unnecessary risk. For each task you complete, you will be rewarded handsomely, and there will be a bonus if you finish them all. So have I piqued your interest? This is audition pay. I can offer you 1,500 new yen, but only if you complete the full audition. A run and post-run interview to our satisfaction. If you fail to perform up to our expectation, you receive no pay and no further offers of work. Sold. What do you work for? How do you know where to find? My organization knows everything worth knowing in Germany, including the small pond that is Berlin. Okay. Well, we got conspiracy theorist organization. Now on to the task at hand. There's a man named Alishire. He's a senior manager at Hermes Eurocom and a respected figure in his organization. My organization also suspects him of working with pro-corporate extremists. These people are actively working to undermine the Flux state and pave the way for a corporate-controlled Berlin. My organization has no more desire to see Berlin fall to the corporations than you do. However, we are hesitant to act on our suspicions without proof. This is where you come in. So you want me to spy on them, then? Not directly, no. But we do need to place them under surveillance. You will meet with a team that I've arranged for you, and with their assistance, you will plant listening devices in his apartment. Take the U-Bahn to Frankfurter Tor and go alone. The rest of your team will meet you there. I already have a team. You do, yes, but they're unsuitable for this job. Remember, this is a test of your abilities, not Iger's or Glory's or Dietrich's. How do you know their names? Same way I knew yours. You will complete this trial with the team that I have assembled or not at all. It's important for us to know that you're willing to work within these limitations. Sure, I'll work with your team. Postmortem, huh? Man, we have a lot. They throw a lot of missions at you. Oh, Altug doesn't have anything to say to you. I guess I go talk to our arms dealer about his mission and then we'll call it there. This thing might be pushing on 2 hours. The main missions pay a lot. Okay. keep up with this. Alright. Got your message about the missing shipment. How can I help? Aye. A gang from nearby kids has been hijacking shipments bound for our cruise bazaar, taking money out of our pockets. I could use your help to stop this from happening. Your dear departed Monica used to provide encryption and information control for the cruise bazaar. Now that she's gone, we merchants have been having no end of trouble. The obvious answer is that a gang has been intercepting our communications. Shipping manifests, payment orders, that kind of thing. A group of an agenda could use that information to set an ambush, and that's just what this gang has been doing. Several cargo trucks full of goods has been already hijacked en route to the cruise bazaar. I had a tracking device planted on the last shipment I sent out, containers full of weapons and medical supplies. Sure enough, it got taken. I tracked it to the Gesundbrunnen? If you've never been there, it's a Kiez built out of an old U-Bahn station and some old bunkers. Rumor has it, a new gang called the Robengeister is holed up there. I suspect that the two things are related. So I need you to go to Gesundbrunnen and find the Grazenbazer and get our goods back. I can offer you 500 Nuyen for the task, and if you can recover our missing weapons shipment, I'll be able to sell you some of the better hardware. Tell me anything about this gang? Perhaps not much, I'm afraid. From what I heard, the Robengeister are tricky. They have a reputation for stirring up trouble and then disappearing without a trace. I would tread carefully if I were you. I'll take care of it. One more thing. I'm going to need you to go in light on this one. Take a friend along if you like, but no more than one. If you spook them, they could trash the merchandise. Best go quiet. Best go soon, too, before the trail goes cold. What the hell? 500 Nuyen? Yo, they offered me... Yo, this guy offered me 500 Nuyen just for going to the sewers and fixing some shit. Come on, guys. This is, cheaping out. Just like your basic weapon costs more than 500 Nuyen, man. Merchants, man. Mad cheap. Let's see what's up with Absent. Ah, sorry, hold on a second. I'll call Algernon for you. Curious. She pauses, squinting at you. Her mouth dips into a frown. When I look at you, I see red. She nods and the frown slowly falls off her face. Her voice becomes dreamy. Red splatter like paint across great metal arms. Small rooms drenched in it, with droplets oozing down from the ceiling. She offers you a cautious smile. Pretty. That was an awfully strange way to open a conversation. Was it? Then I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend. She looks away. I merely comment on what I see. Well, she's clearly some kind of weird, she's not a elf, that much is sure. Or something. It's kind of weird. Alright. Algernon, what do you know about the Great Dragon Firstwinch? The elf ponders for a moment, twisting a ring on his right hand. Firstwinch the Firewing. That is a name hadn't been heard in some time. Over 40 years, I believe. Although I cannot say for certain. Time and I do not get along. Does he warp through time too? Is he like that girl from Suikoden who just randomly goes through time and space? She was among the first of the great dragons to awaken, and the first to be killed by meta-humanity, or so the story goes. Looks like I asked the right person. Do you have insight? I do, into a great many matters. Absinthe interjects. A great dragon is not like other awakened creatures, whereas a basilisk is nothing more than a Komodo dragon whose genetic structure was mutated by magic's return. A great dragon is a creature of magic. A creature that has seen more than one cycle of the world. This is the sixth. When a great dragon falls, the sound resonates across time and space. And therefore you would know? He opens his hands. I am merely suggesting that the story is incomplete. Firstwinch awakened, along with Lofweir, Nabelher, and Kaltenstein, around the first decade of the century. She was first seen over the Harz Mountains, and after a long flight announcing her presence, she began raining fire on every town and village she came across. Why the attack? No one knows. Firstwinch was never engaged in dialogue. German military forces are said to have killed her over the SOX the year she emerged. This, after months of fire and devastation and terror. Her body was never recovered. Whenever I hear the body was never recovered, I immediately think fake their own death. This is true in most fiction. Be aware of the holovids, my friends. They will rot your brain. Nevertheless, it is possible that the Firewing still exists. He's making fun. That's a TV trope. Dragons are cunning. Quite cunning. And a sealed emergency zone is, by its very nature, sealed. We cannot know what happens inside with certainty. One must wonder what effect the radiation from a nuclear meltdown might have had upon her. Any theories? Algernon crosses his arms across his chest. No, I do not deal in theory. Despite her death, there was a rumor that she had been seen over Iceland some time after her fall, but it was never confirmed. Some speculate that the viewer witnessed her astral form, and that her body still lies in the SOX. Is there anything else? Ever heard of gay? They're fascists, plain and simple. They cling to Christian doctrine to justify their actions, but they are killers first and the religious fanatics second. Huh, it's 2054. Haven't we gotten past this kind of thing? No, if anything, the awakening served to fan the fires of cruelty and xenophobia that have always been present in human society. Our differences are more obvious and profound now than they have ever been. Is it any surprise that the reactions of extremists have followed suit? That makes sense, I suppose. Thanks for your time. Alright, see if any actual freaking... Oh my god, you need level 5 spellcasting to use these power pulls. There's no, like, shaman offensive spells is the problem. Right, like, all the shaman spells are buffs, I think. There's a fire barrier, which I guess is good. Looks like I have to invest in willpower. Cause yeah, all the other things require spell casting, which is a huge pain in the ass. Alright, I guess I'm done for now. Alright, see you guys next time. Damn, it's almost 2 hours session. Alright, thanks for watching.